Good morning guys! Today I'm going to be doing my foundation routine for you, and as you can see I already have my eye makeup on, and that's always how I do my makeup. I apply eye makeup first, foundation last. And the reason I do that is just because I can avoid any of that dark eyeshadow fallout since I like to wear smoky eyes a lot. So I can avoid that eyeshadow fallout getting into my foundation just by doing eyes first, foundation last. It's just always worked best for me. Unless I'm doing a tutorial, then I do it the opposite way, which a lot of people do. So when it comes to prepping the skin, I really feel that exfoliation, cleansing of course, exfoliation and moisturizing is really important in getting, a nice flawless look to your skin and your foundation. Now, I'm going to show you what I used this morning, for example. I like to make my own sort of exfoliating cleansers, and so this morning I washed my face with honey. Actually, this is a mixture of what I wash my face with. So I used like 1 scoop of raw honey, a dash of rice powder, which is just plain white rice that I grounded in my coffee maker, and then a dash of apple cider vinegar. And so I just have that in a little bowl. I mix that mixture up, and then I exfoliate and cleanse my face with that this morning. So that's how I washed my face this morning. So I found that that combination has worked really well to kind of give me like a more luminous, kind of glowing complexion, and also keep my skin really exfoliated and free of any of that little dry bits of skin and whatnot. Next, I would tone my skin, and so this is one of my homemade toners. It's my African red tea. I've already done a video on it, which I can post below. So this is my African red tea and apple cider vinegar toner, which also has a few drops of tea tree and lavender essential oil. So I just take that on a cotton pad. Now I haven't done this part yet, so I want to do this on camera for you just to show you, how I prep my skin. So I just take that all around. Now, typically I wouldn't have my eye makeup on already before doing this. I would do this right after cleansing my skin, but I wanted to show this part to you guys. And I take that down my neck too. And actually, I gotta clip my hair back. Next, I apply my moisturizer, which is 2 pumps of rosehip oil, and then my Desert Essence, lavender, and tea tree oil. So I do that, well, you can do it in your hand, but since I've been touching stuff here, I'm just going to do it on a cotton pad here. So I'm just going to apply 2 pumps rosehip oil and 2 drops of the lavender and tea tree. And then I apply my moisturizing oils all over, just like my toner. And just a little tip, if you've missed any of my previous oil or videos on oil, the tea tree and lavender oil help reduce redness. They're also anti-inflammatory and antibacterial. So I'll usually let that soak in for about 10 or 15 minutes, and I will be back to do my foundation. Hey guys, I'm back, and my moisturizer has now had a chance to soak in. I know I said 10 to 15 minutes, but really however long you have in the morning, however long you can spare for your moisturizer or oils to soak in is good. So I forgot to mention that I also like to moisturize my lips at the same time, so I'll show you that as well. So I like to use shea butter, just pure, natural, unrefined shea butter, and this is whipped shea butter, so it's not as hard as like just the regular unwhipped shea butter, and I can show that to you. So it's just whipped up, so it's a lot softer and easier to work with. So I just take it on a little Q-tip and just barely touch the side. It just takes the tiniest amount, and I just apply that to my lips. And I will let that sit on before I put anything else on my lips. Okay, now that my skin is all prepped, I'm ready for a foundation. Now, I can't call this my everyday foundation routine because I don't wear foundation every day. In fact, most days, the majority of the time, I like to go with just a bare face, no foundation, just because I want my skin to breathe. And I feel like, if I'm wearing foundation, I feel sometimes a little bit suffocated, which kind of sounds funny being that I love makeup, but it's just kind of how I am. So when I do wear foundation, this is my favorite one. This is Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Plus, and my favorite brush to apply it with are these kind. So this is my Sedona Lace 480, and it's just this cute little a like super dense rounded brush. It's just like slightly rounded on top. So I really like this. It's the right size too to just really get in those kind of, you know, small areas and like right between the brows and the hairline there. It just works really well to just buff it in really nicely. So did I mention I'm in number 35, by the way, in this color? I've just found this is like the perfect color foundation, and it's really important to get your foundation shade right. Otherwise, you can have a really good foundation, but if it's like too light for your skin or a little too dark, it can just look wrong, you know? So I just apply about that much on the back of my hand, and I take my brush and just barely kind of tap into it a little bit, or you could use your finger and kind of touch on like that. Sometimes I do it that way too, but sometimes I'll just stipple it on like this. And I usually kind of focus first where I have the most redness, so, you know, like right around the nose area. Sometimes if I have any spots along my forehead, I just kind of stipple that around. And I really do tend to focus on my cheeks back here because these are kind of my problem areas, which is where I had cystic acne for several years, and that was due to my diet. So once I changed my diet finally, that went away, and I've just been, you know, trying to heal my skin basically through a good diet and good natural skincare. So once I kind of get that stippled on, I do start to kind of buff out, buff that in. I've still got plenty more on the back of my hand too, so. So I'm just blending that down my neck because you don't want that kind of like line of foundation where you've applied it to your face and then you don't want that pale neck, right? So just gonna bring that down so there's just a light, you know, kind of blending of the color. And then I just like to kind of go back through and make sure everything is blended well and make sure any of my post-acne scarring, that's really what I like to focus on, is really just, you know, mostly up here, just covering up those old, you know, dark post-acne marks and any scarring. And if you need to, you can take it onto your earlobes and just kind of make sure that, you know, make sure the coloring is all uniform. And that is pretty much it for foundation. And then the next thing that I do is concealer, and that's always kind of sort of a toss-up. I know some people do concealer first, foundation last, and I tend to just do foundation unless I have like an extra dark mark that I'm trying to cover up. Then I will apply a little touch of concealer, usually after I've applied my foundation. I've been doing okay lately, so I'm not going to apply any concealer to my face, but if I was, I would be using my, let's see, my Estee Lauder Double Wear Concealer, and I'm in light medium. And so this is a touch lighter than my natural skin tone, so when I apply it to, say, any of those dark marks or a red mark or something, it will help lighten up the spot. Because if I was just to use, say, more foundation over that, or something that's, you know, a concealer that's the same color as my skin, it's not gonna make that spot look any more even. It's just gonna make it look a little bit even darker. So we don't want that. So you'll always want to, if you're covering those dark marks, always go for something that's a little bit lighter than your natural skin tone. So next, I'm going to go ahead and actually conceal under my eyes. And this is actually a good day for me to be doing this because this is when my under eye, you know, darkness is probably the worst after I've worked a long weekend. So I'm going to go ahead and apply my Bobbi Brown Creamy Concealer, and I'm using the color Natural. And, oh shoot, let me get my brush. Okay, and I like to apply that on my Sedona Lace. This is the 941, and I'm just going to take just a touch. So I just tap that on in the darkest part of my under eye area, which is usually for me right in here, and it tends to be a line like that I like to focus on, rather than, like, it's not really dark out here, it's just right in here. So I'll take it right along that main little line and just kind of bring it up after that. But really the majority of my concealer is kind of focused right along here. And I will take it up in here as well, kind of along the side of the bridge of the nose area there. So just little light patting motions and I'm all good. Let me just get this side. Now if you have very dark under eye circles, I know that the Bobbi Brown corrector, under eye corrector, is supposed to be really amazing for, you know, dark purpley blue under eye circles. And I haven't actually tried that, but I have heard so many good reviews about that. So if I ever like run out or need any more under eye products, that would be one that I would purchase. The next step is my brows, and I'm using MAC Fling brow pencil. So I just do a lot of little short light strokes, just so it looks like little hairs. You're making more little hairs than what you really have. And now let's see, on to contouring and blush. So yeah, I can show you that part as, you know, as well. It doesn't have to be just foundation, right? So let me go ahead and grab my contour, which I'm using my Chanel Bronze Universal. And this is my favorite, this is probably my go-to, like my most loved product for contouring. And I like to use that on my Sedona Lace angled brush, and this is the 602. So I just get in there, and I just get a light amount. Sometimes it's hard to get it on the brush, but there we go. So just get a light amount. And because I have more of a longer face, I usually contour more at the top, you know, on my forehead, right at the hairline, and down on my chin. But also because I don't have like very prominent cheekbones, I do like to contour just a little under my natural cheekbone and kind of make, you know, kind of give my face a little more shape there. So first I'm just going to start here. I like to just turn my brush sideways so it's getting the narrow part and just hit right along the hairline there. And then the chin. Oh, you know what else I do is I will take it under the neck slightly. Like not really along the jawbone, but just under slightly. And if you need to, you know, balance out any color, you can take it down your neck a little bit too. And then to give my face a little more shape, I like to get right under there and create a little more cheekbone action. So basically what I do is just go in slight little circles. So sometimes I will take it on straight like that and then kind of go in little circles just to make sure it's not just a line, make sure it's just kind of faded out and blended. So for blush, I'm just going to apply my favorite MAC Gingerly blush, and I'm going to take that on my Sedona Lace 376 brush. And this is one of my favorite blushes for kind of just adding a touch of warmth. So certain days I just feel like having just that kind of warm, cozy look, and this is a great blush for that. It's also a good blush for like summertime. It looks like gorgeous tan summer skin, like you've been out in the sun or something. You know what I just realized was that I didn't contour my nose how sometimes I do, because I do have kind of a longer nose, so sometimes I like to contour just under here, and it sort of gives the appearance of a slightly shortened nose. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that since I'm doing kind of a full face routine right now. So I'm going to use my Sedona Lace, this is the 863, it's just like a little, it's an eye brush, it's like a fluffy eye blending brush. So I'm just going to get a tiny bit on my brush, and first I'm just going to kind of slim the nose a little, which sometimes I do just to kind of give it a little extra shape. So just bring that down the sides, and then under my nose, that's kind of how I get, you know, make it appear a little bit shorter. but yet it doesn't look like you have bronzer under your nose. That's one reason why I really like my Chanel Bronze Universal, is it doesn't look like anything. It just looks like natural, beautiful, glowing skin. Okay, now back to what I was saying about the blush. Sometimes I will take just a little bit and kind of sweep it across my nose. If it's a matte blush. So since Gingerly is matte, I'm just gonna take a little of that, tap it off. And the color has to be just right too. If it looks like a skin tone sort of color, you know, like maybe you were out in the sun a little. So there we go. So I personally like that look. It's totally up to you. And I don't of course do that every day, but just for fun, I wanted to go ahead and show you that in this video. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply lips. I'm not sure what color I'm gonna wear yet, but I will apply lipstick and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back, and for lips, I decided to go with just kind of a neutral, you know, natural sort of look. So I used my Too Faced Perfect Lips lip liner in Perfect Spice, and then I applied my Buxom lipstick in Sydney, which is a really pretty, like really natural looking nude. And I think this is great for, you know, medium and darker skin tones as well, because it's not like a really pale nude. And then I also applied my Buxom lip gloss or lip cream in White Russian. So this is my complete look. No lashes for today because, you know, no need for that all the time, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed my foundation routine. It's really basic and simple, and at least to me it is. And I tend to focus more on, you know, skincare. I feel like the best foundation is good skincare. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.